is 11 minutes after 7 o'clock on this thoughtful Thursday evening. It is indeed a thoughtful Thursday, as it also is a Thursday where we get to commemorate Human Rights Day. The year 2024 coincides with several historic milestones in the nation's fight for fundamental human rights and freedoms. And this year's Human Rights Month is taking place under the theme, 3 decades of respect for the promotion of human rights. The question that we're asking you this evening, but can we say that we have been promoting, we have been advocating for, we have been enhancing the rights of our South African citizenship? Look, I'm not the one that's going to be the judge of it. You get to be the judge of it this evening. And with that, let me welcome our guests to this panel discussion. We're joined by ANC-NEC member and Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Buti Manamela. Buti, thank you so much for joining us. We're also joined from the Democratic Alliance, Sivyo Kwahube, who is the Chief Whip of the Democratic Alliance. eNCA Freedom Party is represented by Mpho Dagada, who's joining us, who is the Deputy President. And from ATM, that is the African Transformation Movement, we've got Nyaniso Teku, who's joining us as well. From BUSA, that is Build One South Africa, we've got the leader, Musi Maimane, in conversation with us this evening. Rise Mzansi is represented by leader Songezo Zibi, is joining us as well. And we've got the president of Arise South Africa, Mpho Dagada, joining us as well. And from Action SA, Lerato Ngobeni joins us, who is the national spokesperson. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for availing yourselves on such a significant day in history. South Africa's constitution has been said to be, and I hear it. And I was having a conversation, I think even on Metro FM Talk, about South Africa's constitution. It's been touted as the best constitution in the world. It is respected and honored as the best constitution in the world. But I wonder, if I were to ask South African citizens, is the experience of the ordinary South African that the South African constitution is the best in the world? That we don't hear that South Africa's constitution is the best in the world from leaders like yourselves, but we hear that South Africa's constitution is the best in the world from those who have to experience it, the 62 million or so. So is South Africa the best constitution in the world from an experiential perspective, not from a policy perspective?
Thank you so much for that question, and good evening to all the viewers and also all the fellow panelists. I think you've touched on a very important point, and at Arise South Africa, we stand for the truth. We're a political party that says that we won't be gagged or forced to say certain things because we're afraid of funders. Our constitution is not working for the people because our people, majority of South Africans, still do not have land ownership. That's a very important question. And we can't now, after 30 years, still sit down and say that it takes time to distribute the land properly. We can't still be saying that we need new policies and new reforms to do so. The question of land is very important. If our constitution is upholding each person's right, why do majority of the people, after 30 years, they still don't have the land? The land is still owned by the same people that owned it during apartheid. So the question of our constitution, yes, I agree with you to say the laws were right, but the implementation thereof, especially by the political parties that exist today, has been a sell-out sort of implementation, where they want to implement things that will just leave the people with a 350 for today, but the question of the real land is not being answered. And when we look at where South Africans are today, South Africans are still living in poverty. Half of our people are still in poverty every single day. They are still continuing with this poverty. And every time politicians speak, it would seem that they move the goalpost to new things. But the fundamentals of wealth, the land, people owning shares on the JSE, these are black people that should be a majority represented in the economy. They are still not represented. And we have these talk shows where political parties come, and I think because maybe they are funded or their bosses will not allow them, they don't speak about the important things. South Africans need financial emancipation. We need to ensure that the land and the economy is a representative of what was fought for, not that it should be owned by a few people and those people control the rest.
So South Africa's constitution is not for all South Africans. It's on paper or for all South Africans, but the experience of the constitution is not for all South Africans.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Arise South Africa is going to be launching our manifesto at the State Theatre in Pretoria in April on the 6th. And some of the things that we focus on, we are focusing on the truth. And the truth is the fact that South Africa is one of the richest countries in the world, yet majority of the people live in the poverty line. And it's important for us to understand that we need to start telling the truth, that there are politicians in this country that have stolen money from the people and continue to do so. We are going to be dealing with things like land. We can't shy away from the fact that there is a minority in this country that owns land. Even after 30 years, we've got unemployment which is rampant. The land can be used to employ people, yet everybody shies away from it because they don't want to upset their handlers. We will tell it as it is. The land must come back to its rightful owners. We talk about the wealth of the country, the companies, the JSC. There are companies in this country that are owned specifically by a certain group of people, where the majority of people do not participate in the economy. They are only called workers. Yes, we know we will create jobs, but we also want to see black people owning. It's very important. We look at the educational reform. Our education is not fit for purpose. In actual fact, our education teaches people to be administrators and beggars. We need an education system that teaches people how to build and use the resources that are there. Quality healthcare in our country. We need to ensure that everybody has quality healthcare and access to that quality healthcare. Functioning electricity and water in our country. For too long, people have been at the justice of, the ruling party being corrupted ESCOM and ensuring that people suffer load shedding, which has taken away over 50 billion from our economy, which has killed so many jobs and small businesses. We need to ensure that we uproot this corrupt government and ensure that competence is replaced. Equal opportunities for all. In South Africa, it's no secret. If you are a member or you know a cadre or a comrade, you get all the tenders. You get the jobs first. Even we are seeing in educational programs as well as employment programs that people that are close to the ruling party are the first to get the jobs. We find this to be unacceptable. We need to build a country where equal opportunities are available for each person. We need to fix the justice situation. Crime in this country is rampant. It's killing our economy. It's killing many people. There are murders every day that are still not solved till date. We need to fix and utilize the technology that's available to fix our crime and justice situation in our country. Ensure that the rule of law comes back.
My alarm says that you've exceeded your 2 minutes. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Faith, if we could just add here, I think it's important, some of the facts that he gave were not true. To say that the land audit says that 4% of the land in this country belongs to black people, is owned by black people. Yet they are the majority. Not even 10, 4%. And what we are seeing is it's been 30 years of the ANC saying this, in their conferences, in their documents. We are not seeing the tangible side of it. And the truth of the matter is, the reason why many of them don't speak about land is because the people that own the land and don't want this process are the same people that are funding these politicians, including the ANC politicians. We saw that they were the same people who funded these people through their campaigns, the Ramaphosa campaign. So how are they going to talk about land when their own funders are against it? And it's important that we start to tell the truth about land, to say land is not something that we can wait to talk about tomorrow. Land needs to be spoken about today. And every political party on this table must say that they will prioritize land first, because that's the contention.
I'm literally being told that it's about 30 seconds before I have to wrap up with everybody. So I think that I will use this opportunity to wrap up the conversation. And we will wrap up in this manner. The fact of the matter is the 29th of May is around the corner. Whether we like it, whether we do not like it, ultimately, it is you who has the power as South Africans to choose who to vote for. You get to decide which political party gets to represent you for the next 5 years. And more than anything else, we're imploring all political parties and all South Africans as well, please hold your politicians to account. You voted for them. They are supposed to govern you. And if they do not govern you to the way that you like, vote them out. And if they do govern in the way that you like, vote them in or keep them in the position of power. But ultimately, let all South Africans know that the people that have got the power at the end of the day are the ordinary citizens of this country, should you decide to cast your vote. That's why it's so important to vote on the 29th of May, because the power moves from this panel to you. And that's what South Africans need to hear at home. The power shifts from anybody that was part of the conversation from a panelist perspective and shifts to the citizenship. You know what I always say? This is our republic. If it works for everyone. Thank you so much to my panelists. I know it's not going to be the last time that we have a conversation. We're going to keep having them until we build up to the elections. Thank you so much to our guests and our audience members for being part of the conversations. Please do feel at home, because the SABC is your home. And of course, until you and I talk again on Monday, have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye and God bless.
Metro FM. It's where you want to be. From the streets to the airwaves.
You want to give people dignity and respect, and you want to receive it.
We've been your voice for 30 years of freedom and democracy on Metro FM.
We, the people of South Africa, feel fulfilled that humanity has taken us back into its